Hi. Here is the idea that a person can make himself happy or miserable, regardless of what is actually happening outside, just by changing the contents of consciousness. People have this idea that if you just had a bigger house, you would be happy. If you just had a nicer car, would be happy. If you just had a lot of money, you would be happy. But that's just not how happiness works. Here is a graph adjusted for inflation that shows a period of about half a century where personal income tripled, but it didn't really affect how happy people were after some basic point where your basic needs have been met. Buying an even bigger house isn't the way to happiness. It's about changing the contents of your consciousness. So, how can we change the contents of our consciousness? One of the best ways to do this is to put ourselves in a state of optimal experience called flow. Csikszentmihalyi describes flow as a state in which people are so involved in activity that nothing else seems to matter. He goes on to say that concentration is so intense that there is no attention left over to think about anything irrelevant or to worry about problems. Self consciousness disappears and this sense of time becomes distorted. Flow is that optimal state of mind between boredom and anxiety. Although the idea of flow has existed for thousands of years, flow theory began in the 1970s and 80s when Hungarian psychologist Mihalyi Csikszentmihalyi became fascinated by artists who were so lost in their creative work that they would lose track of time and even ignore food, water, and sleep. Through his research, he noticed a similar experience with scientists, athletes, and authors. It was a state of hyper focus and complete engagement that he described as optimal experience. If you are working on your business, you might be so focused on what you are doing that 12 hours might pass and you have no idea. All of a sudden, you look up and you realize you haven't had any food, you haven't thought about anything else. The only thing that you could focus on was your business. The same thing applies to so many other activities. Csikszentmihalyi found that there are four main factors which are crucial to experience flow: focus, freedom, feedback, 4% challenge. Focus. In other words, high concentration, spotlight on the task at hand. All that matter is the one thing you are doing at the moment, right here, right now. Do not allow your mind to wander. Be involved, be one with what you do. Try to eliminate distractions. Don't let anything or anyone disturb or bother you. Sharpen your focus. Direct your imagination and your focus to only one thing. There is nothing else, only the task you have set yourself here and now. Freedom. You must feel free. You want to be free to express yourself. You want to do your job without fear of making a mistake. Feel free. If you are constantly afraid of making a mistake or saying something wrong, you will never experience flow. It's an egoless thing. Let go and have confidence. Work without judgment. Feedback. Flow requires a constant stream of information that allows you to evaluate whether your actions are bringing you closer to the goal you have set yourself. You need to know if you are successful with it. Know what success is for you and check it again and again. A clear goal leads to clear feedback. It's like in tennis, where every move you make gives you direct feedback from your opponent. With each of your actions, calculate for yourself whether you have come closer to your desired goal. 4% challenge. If you want to evoke flow in you, the challenge should be 4% greater than you. The challenge should be 4% greater than your skills or than the level you'll feel comfortable in. If you play tennis, you will make the best progress and learn the most and fastest when your opponent is rated 4% better than you. You can only grow if you rise to a challenge, but make sure that the challenge is not too big for you. You are playing chess against players who are rated 4% higher than you. If you play a weaker player, you will win too easy and be bored. If you play a match better player like Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen, you will get crushed and find it hopeless, frustrating, but hard. But if you compete against someone who is just slightly better than you know that if you are try hard and you really focus, you might win. The 4% challenge will make you dig deep and dedicate all your attention to overcoming the challenge in front of you. The same can be true for work. If you are just the challenge of every task to be just 4% greater than your skills or just slightly harder than what's comfortable for you, you will experience flow. The universal way to find the sweet spot is to slightly reduce the time you give yourself to complete a task.